Play.
Welcome, welcome. This is Gwyn, and with me, as promised, this is game two of the ESEA playoffs here. We've got round two of the playoffs. This is Team xsixVer versus Team Vile, and we have vileSpanishiwaG2 spawning as the yellow Zerg in the 3 o'clock position, and in the 9 o'clock position we have xsixVer, who we saw a fantastic game out of last game. He's up 1-0. Will Spanish be able to bring it to a tie at 1-1, or will Ver sweep the series?
Great question. Again, this is Metalopolis. I would probably say a lot of Zerg players don't hate this map. It's a lot more open. It's a lot more standard. There's not so many cliffs for any kind of ledges or any kind of timing attacks. But again, Spanishiwa, I would assume that he is probably going to go for a Mutaling composition on this map. It's going to pretty much give him, again, map control. He is going to be able to poke in the mutas to the main of Vert, maybe catch him off guard with a few turrets. But Spanishiwa, I would probably say he definitely has a higher chance to win on this map than he did on Crossfire.
I would agree as well. I mean, we do have, this is the MLG version of this map, so we do have the neutral supply depots down at the bottom, preventing that bunker wall off that can happen. I will say, though, the natural on this map is very wide open, which is an advantage and a disadvantage for both players. On the one hand, it's very easy to ling counterattacks behind or sneak infestors behind your opponent's mineral line, as Spanishiwa is quite famous for. And on the other hand, Hellions have a lot of power here. We are going to see the 15 hatch again out of Spanishiwa. Seems to be a favorite build of his, and it looks like we're seeing barracks and then gas out of Ver. So not going to see a command center first, not going to see a really fast expo. I'm curious to see what he's going to do on this map.
Yeah, against Benicio, he's going to go for the 15-15 build. Very standard, very safe, opening against any kind of quick 2 racks or Hellion push. But actually, Marines are on production now for Ver. He is only on 1 barrack, so I don't think he's going to be going for Hellions, as he did get that refinery up and going. And yeah, probably I would be assuming that he is going to go for Hellions, maybe Blue Flame Hellions, to try to do some kind of economic damage onto Benicio.
We will have to see. I mean, at the moment, we see, Ver is going to go ahead and scout out, scouting the wrong direction first, unfortunately. Not going to see that early hatch, probably until it's about finished. Pool about to finish as well. And a little bit of an extractor steal out of Spanishiwa. Continued extractor steal. It does take 3 Marines, actually, to take down a building extractor. So until there are 3 there, he is pretty safe to just continue recanceling. We do have, let's see, the barracks got moved. Gonna throw down a reactor on that, and the factory in production. So we'll have to see. We'll probably see a Hellion opening out of him here, but we could see Banshees as well. Although that gas being delayed for so long put a stopper on that.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be Hellions coming here from Ver. He's getting the reactor onto the barracks, just going to lift up the barracks, throw down the factory, start Hellion production. And these are going to be very, very quick Hellions. If you look at Spanishiwa, he's just getting started on his metabolic boost. 2 queens are on the way, still a lot of drones in production. But again, Spanishiwa, very, very good with his Overlord spread. He might be able to spot Hellions, although he does not control these watchtowers with his Zerglings. But yeah, Ver, this is very, very obvious he's going to get started on Hellions, and 2 Hellions are now in production for Ver.
We do have the Hellions. It looks like there was a command center started by Ver and then canceled. I saw the graphic go down there. It's going to go down now. Started those Hellions first, has them in production, but I think, looking at this is kind of a tell, that there are really only 2 Marines out, because, of course, like I mentioned, that extractor would have been killed if there were 3, but we had 2 hammering on it for so long. That means that the barracks was not producing Marines. So what could it have been doing? It was making a reactor. So Spanishiwa, of course, a very smart player, probably has noticed this, knows that there are Hellions on the way, and in fact, there is the Roach Warren going down. He's got another Queen down in expansion, ready by the ramp. So I think he will be just fine against these.
Yeah, Spanishiwa knows Hellions are in production, and a lot of Zerg players recently have just been going blind roaches against a lot of Terran players. Koreans have really, really made Blue Flame Hellions extremely popular on the North American server. So Spanishiwa and many Zerg players just, they feel like opening up roaches. If your opponent goes Hellions, he is going to be able to defend. And if he decides to, he can actually go for a counter push. And Ver trying to move in here up the ramp of Spanishiwa, but these Zerglings are going to deny this. Queen is even going to be there for a little bit of assistance. but you do not want to get the queen off creep. Spanishiwa, no. All right, pull it
Oh,
back.
the
There we go.
roaches finally coming in. 3 roaches is going to easily be enough to, and a little bit of miscontrol by Ver losing a Hellion, but 5 roaches out. That's going to put a stop to that Hellion aggression for at least a while. You know, maybe going to loop back around, try and sneak behind the mineral line of the natural, but some roaches going to be able to shut that down pretty quickly. We did have a command center, though, on the way. It's finished now, getting its orbital. We're seeing a lot of switching, and another command center going on. So actually, we have 3 command centers in the base of Ver at the moment. And he's going to go ahead and switch to marine production, it looks like, out of that, and tank production. So dumping back into that standard marine tank. But look at this. The dropship going to pick up some of those Hellions and do a Hellion drop.
And does he have Blue Flame? I'm curious. Did he get the Blue Flame? No, he does not have Blue Flame upgrade. But again, these Hellions are still going to do a lot of damage to Spanishiwa. Spanishiwa does not see the dropship.
But he does
He
have
might
3
actually spot this
roaches
with
in the
Lynx.
main.
Yeah, the roaches are going to be there for a little bit of help, and these roaches should be able to clean up these Hellions fairly easily, but Verse still decides to drop these Hellions, looking like he wants to take out some drones. He is going to take out a few of these drones. Maybe 1 or 2 drones were killed there, but just not the best exchange here coming from Ver.
I would actually say more drones than should have gone down went down in that exchange. But Spanish able to clear it up pretty quickly. And we have 3, like I said, 3 command centers in the main now. And that is a lot of SCVs, quite a bit of oversaturation there. Would like to see an expansion soon out of Ver?
Yeah, Ver needs to Ver needs to lift up the command center. He has a second one that's just about to finish, and I'm not too sure what he's thinking with this double command center. He is going to be able to get his natural up, but the third expansion is just so early.
I know there are actually a few like 3 command center or 4 command center off 2 base all-in builds. Where you, as a Terran player, max on food at around 14 minutes and push with lots of Thors and things like that. But that doesn't look like what Ver's going for here. Just a very early third. But he is finally floating that down. He has some bunkers going up, and his tank's finally there. Siege mode has not even been started yet. I think that might be a little bit of a misclick. I would have expected rather to see siege mode up at this point.
Yeah, he is getting started on his stim, still continuing marine production. There are additional tanks on the way, but again, Spanishiwa will move in here with these Zerglings, trying to do some damage. Might take out a tank. Actually,
Definitely
will
gonna
take out one tank.
Both tanks gonna go down, and that's actually pretty huge. You know, getting that tank count down for the loss of just some lings, which of course do not cost any gas, is a great trade.
Yeah, and again, this goes back to my point. The style that Spanishiwa is playing right now is just so well, specifically on this map. It's just so open to be able to do any kind of harassment, which he is taking out 2 tanks from Ver. And look at the harvester count really quickly. He is ahead, 51 drones to 44 of the SCVs for Ver, and Aspires on the way from Spanishiwa. So looking like he wants to transition into a Mutiling Baneling composition from here.
Certainly. I mean, the Spire about halfway done now, taking a 4th base as well. You know, and the +1 melee going down. I really like Spanishiwa's, you know, play with this because, you know, personally, I'm not a big fan as a Zerg player of going Mutiling off of 2 base. But if you can get to like a 3 or 4 base, you know, situation and then go Mutiling, you can often just, you know, I'm going to build 30 Mutalisks and do a ton of damage harassing, but I still have this 4 base econ, so I can easily transition into things like Infestors later. You know, and I feel like Spanishiwa is playing that to the T right now against this slow expansion, or this quick in-base third of Ver. He's trying to take his third now. I don't think he's going to be able to. I just don't think he has the units to defend it.
Yeah, Ver is actually his composition it's a good composition, but he's just not having enough units to be able to take this third. He might be able to get it down if he decides to get into a planetary, but no, it's actually an orbital, so that's not going to happen. But Spanishiwa, again, look at the Overlord spread. He did get his Overlord speed, so any kind of medevac drops, he will be able to spot this. And even going to drop creep at the 4th and the 5th expansion here from Ver. So Ver is definitely behind in expansions, down in economy, and Spanishiwa ahead now in supply.
And Spanishiwa coming in with these lings on this. There are some forces here from Ver, but not very many. And looks like he's just going to lift and try and give this up. Knows that there are too many units here. Does not want to lose any more. Those bunkers should be canceled.
But again, meanwhile, while that happened, there was a little bit of a drop coming from Ver at the bottom left expansion. He did take out the hatchery, but these mutas and lings are going to clean this up. But yeah, two-pronged attack coming in from both players, denying the third from Ver and taking an expansion from Spinishiwa. But Spinishiwa still has a decent amount of mutas on the field. 6 Mutalisks, a lot of Banelings, 53 Zerglings. So Spinishiwa does have a nice economy going for him towards the mid to late game. And Ver needs to be able to take the third up as soon as possible, or he's just going to fall so much behind.
Looks like there was a small engagement at Ver's third. Stimmed his Marines, got his tank siege, took out the force from Spinishiwa, and is going to be just fine. It looks like Spinishiwa not satisfied with 4 bases, going to go ahead and take a 5th. And now he will have finished his crescent expansion pattern. We see 5 more mutas and 20 lings on the way. Zergling attack level 2 on the way as well. And of course, as soon as that finishes, Banelings do so much damage. And so do Zerglings for that matter. Upgraded Zerglings are very strong. And I'm wondering when we're going to see that infestation pit, as infestors, of course, are the unit you want to get as Zerg.
Yeah, Spinishiwa looks like he wants to move in here onto the third again of Ver. You need to deny third expansions from Terrans. And just look at how many mules Ver just dropped. That's about 7, 8 mules dropped at the third expansion. So his economy is going to be booming for quite some time. He is equaling up the supply. 148 for Spinishiwa, 145 for Ver. Spinish moving in with the mutas. They are going to get denied by a whole bunch of Marines and turrets. And again, Spinishiwa needs to do some kind of damage, keep Ver in his base, build up his economy even more, and just go from there.
Oh, but look at this Spinishiwa getting a pick, taking out 3 tanks at the cost of a muta or 2. But I think that was a good trade. Gonna go in, and is he gonna get? Oh, running his lings in as well. Once that tank count was lowered, and he's gonna do so much damage. Might even take out this third base. But no, we see the reinforcements streaming in from Ver. Gonna go ahead and clean out, but you know, Ver definitely looked like a little bit behind there. And Spinishiwa, he has a 4th base up. He's mining just gas at it. 5th base looks like it's going to be mining gas soon. So he wants to replenish that mutalist number. Infestation pit finally on the way, and continuing to get upgrades. Now he's at 2-0 for his melee and 1-0 for his flyer attack.
Yeah, and Ver knows he's extremely behind. He needs to do some kind of damage. You know, medevac drops are going to be extremely important coming into this game right now. Ver needs to be dropping in multiple locations, trying to take out drones, trying to just use and abuse the multitasking of Spinishiwa some way, somehow. But he is moving out here with a lot of Marines, which are upgraded 1-1, and his tanks. 3 tanks are moving out. No upgrades for the tanks. But to be honest, it just looks like Spinishiwa might just roll over this composition. He is going to move in here with his Zerglings.
And then there's
Mutas.
so many Zerglings and Mutalisks. I don't think Ver is going to be able to do anything about this. You know, this is what happens when you let a Zerg player sit back for too long, make the drones he wants to make, and get into his mid-game. You get crushed.
Yeah, that was a beautiful engagement from Spinishiwa coming in from multiple angles. Just a beautiful flank. Running straight in his Zerglings, and Spinishiwa again has map control with his mutas.
Certainly is taking out a turret. Probably going to go for that reactor next. Of course, you want to do guaranteed damage with your harassment units. Yep, just going to go ahead and pull right out after he takes that. But a lot of lings and banelings rolling up the map now, and a 4th for Ver down, but it has not been moved to the 4th yet. Nor do I think it ever will be. It looks like he's going to try and do that, but looks like there are a lot of Ling and Muta waiting for him.
Yeah, this is just Spinishiwa's game to lose. He has complete control again. Ver down in expansions. But again, you know, what is going for Ver right now is his Marine tank composition. But he needs more medevacs. He needs, you know, maybe Thors even against these mutas would do amazing with his composition. But Banelings and Zerglings are just going to do so much damage against the Marine tank composition of Ver. And Spinishiwa, you know, his economy is just so good right now. 87 drones.
Wow.
But 79 SCVs for Ver, so he's actually sticking in this quite well.
Yeah, Ver's, you know, SCV production, of course, especially with those earlier, you know, earlier command centers has been great, but we see Ghosts already out on the field for Spinishiwa, and Infestors, of course, out Hive on the way, and a nuke in production. Oh, Ver, if you drop that nuke, that will make my day. Of course, I'd love to see nukes, but Spinishiwa wreaking some havoc here in the back of Ver's base. There are no turrets, taking out a refinery, and probably could have taken out those eBays.
And there's an Ultralisk Cavern on the way for Spanishiwa. That's really interesting. He's going for Greater
Spire
Spire
as
and
well.
Ultras. So see, this is basically our point of economy. Spanishiwa has enough resources to be able to do this, doubling tech with his Ultras and his Greater Spire. So Broodlords and possibly Ultras are both going to be in the same game. So we're just going to have to wait and find out. And again, this fourth of Ver going to be denied by all these Zerglings, which are 2-1 upgraded, even going to burrow. So Ver not going to be able to take another expansion for quite some time.
Marines finally coming down, but Spanish, seeing the stemmed Marines, just goes ahead and, surrounds a bunch of them. Again, he is floating up at 2,000 minerals. He can afford to throw Zerglings at his opponent as long as he has larvae to do so. 7 infestors, excuse me, out on the map. Spanishiwa taking the gold. He is everywhere, man, and we still have, look at this, look at these infestors burrowed underneath the natural. We have 4 full energy infestors underneath the natural. They could drop some sick fungals and absolutely destroy so many SCVs, I can't even count them.
Yeah, just look look at how many SCVs are at the natural here for Ver. That is just I don't know. They want to get killed right now, and the infestors are just waiting for the perfect time to be able to land those fungals.
Certainly are. I mean, Spanishiwa has to know that those infestors are there and in position. And a nuke going off. Where is that nuke going off
I'm not too sure actually. Where did the nuke go off?
at? I heard a nuke.
You did. I did not hear a nuke.
Did you not hear a nuke?
No, I didn't.
I heard a nuke.
No. I don't even think it went off. Oh, there we go. It went at the third
At
expansion
the
from
third
Spanishiwa.
expansion, it
Yeah.
looks like he did pull some of his drones out, but of course, nukes are scary things, and it looks like another ghost moving in position at the fourth has a nuke as well. I'm sorry, at the fourth
Fourth,
slash
fifth.
fifth.
Yeah.
Looks like he will be dropping it on the fourth though. Yep, dropping it on the fourth.
A nuke is going off.
Will it get taken out in time?
Spanishiwa knows. Actually, he thinks something is on the way. He's moving in with the infestors, and the Zerglings needs to get a fungal before this nuke goes
Oh,
off, and the ghost goes down.
that
So
was so clutch out of Spanishiwa. That is
beautiful reaction
amazing
from
play.
Spanishiwa. That would have just done such even more damage to the economy of Spanishiwa. But again, Spanishiwa is just there's so many broodlords on the map here. 7 broodlords. He's just looking to come in, basically cleaning up the game here. And Ling Broodlord Infestor is such a strong composition.
You see some ghosts here getting mad healed by those medevacs. Of course, tanks need to be unsieged in this situation. Running forward, getting some clutch snipes on those Broodlords. Going to be able to take them out, but they have done a lot of damage and probably will force Vikings, which is exactly what Spanishiwa wants. He wants Vikings to get forced, and are we going to see, a great fungal on those up on the high ground, and I think this might spell the end. Oh, a huge EMP hits so many infestors for Spanish, but it's not going to matter.
Yeah, Spanishiwa just has a lot of infestors in Ling and Baneling, but again, those ghosts, surprisingly did a decent amount against these broodlords. I believe he took out maybe 4 or 5 of those broodlords from Spanishiwa, but again, fungals are not going to be in effect. All he has is infested Terrans. Beautiful EMP again was off on these infestors for xsixVer, and Ver trying to take another expansion here at the 12 o'clock. And, to be honest, Ver is slowly coming back in this game.
But we see, some fungals going down on the SCVs at the 4th base and killing so many SCVs, a whole bunch more left in the red, and Ver pushes out now, knows he has to do something. There are Ultralisks on the field as well. So many Lings running in, so many Banelings, and that Broodlord sitting back there doing a ton of damage. Another Ultra on its way. Ultra's actually going to have to pull back because Ultras are really not that good against Marines.
They're good against Marines, but they need some kind of
Fungal.
they need fungal and they need some kind of assistance. Ultras alone are not going to do well against Marine tank. If you have Zerglings, Banelings, any kind of infestors, they're just going to make him that much stronger. But his upgrades on the Ultras are very good. 4-2 on his Ultras. More Banelings in production, and Spanishiwa has 7 Ultras about to pop here. And, both of these players are doing very, very well with their upgrades. Planetary Fortress coming here at the 12 o'clock for Ver, trying to take another expansion. Maybe this way it'll be a little bit more safer. But Spanishiwa, this is just his game to lose once again. His supply is maxed. 141 supply for Ver, and Spanishiwa looks like he might go for one final timing.
Looks like we are going to see an attempted nuke at the gold base, but there is a Spore Crawler there just waiting for that ghost. As soon as he sees that, he will be able to clean it up easily. Looks like we have another ghost sneaking. Looks like trying to go to the fourth. Probably gonna try and drop another nuke.
I think
Uh,
this nuke might go down. Oh
oh,
my
it
god,
is
the
gonna go down
nuke
on the
is
gold.
gonna go down.
He
Wow.
did pull his drones and his queen out in time, but
Spanish.
is the nuke going to go down at the fourth? We'll have to see. No nukes ready yet, but we will have a nuke finished soon.
Ver is just, his nuke play is really, really good. Coming into this game, he knew he might have a little bit of trouble late game, but just his composition, again, not so well. But his nukes are doing so, so well for him. But
Yeah,
again, the queen getting cleaned up here.
I really feel like this is, because nukes in SC1 were very, very strong,
Yeah.
and they were harder to get to. I feel like the nuke in this game, Ver is using it exactly like it should be. It's a harassment tool, and it's the kind of thing that as a player you should have in your arsenal, and you should be able to multitask and just be like, yeah, I'm gonna drop some nukes on you while you have your army out of position and make you panic and hunt around. But we're seeing a huge engagement out of Spanishiwa. That is so many Ultralisks pushing in right now, doing so much damage. Banelings and Infestors supporting them as well. Huge fungal going down, and this might be the end of Ver.
Yeah, these ultras are just running through these marines and bio units. Banelings are blowing up on everything, taking out supply depots, bunkers, and Spanishiwa's supply completely maxed. Ver all the way down to 112 supply, and Spanishiwa, this guy, his compositions are so, so crazy, but he knows how to make it happen. And I think he's actually going to win this game. Ver going to have such trouble coming into this, and Ver will tie up the series. Actually, Spanicia will tie up the series 1-1 now.
He certainly will. That nuke did go off, by the way, at the fourth. Another nuke attempted to go off at the third, and the GG finally out of Ver. So, wow, what a game we saw there. Almost every single unit available to Zerg was out. I didn't see Corruptors. Well, I guess we saw them morphed into Broodlords. That's not true. But a ton of expanding, a great macro game out of both players. I'm really excited to see what the tiebreaker is on this.
Yeah, Spanishiwa, man, that was his map to win.
It certainly was.
It's so much easier to win on that map than it was on the first game. But Ver putting up a very, very good fight. He was a little bit down in economy early on, but he quickly was able to secure his fourth and his fifth expansions.
He certainly was.
And it went for longer than I thought it was going to be, to be honest. But
Yeah.
congratulations to Spanishiwa taking game 2. We're going to get into game 3 in just a minute. And I believe the map will be